Okay, it's saying live now. So we are officially on.
I am so excited to be on here with you.
Yay, me too. Okay, so this is so different. We were saying this earlier that without Zoom, like normally we're used to Zoom and we get to see, everyone. So it gets to be just like you and me. And for all we know, there's only, us on here, right?
I love that.
Fun, fun. Okay, so do you want to go ahead and start with your story or you want me to go ahead and jump in there? Which one wants to go first?
I can if you want me to.
Sure.
So I am Jen Keller. I am a presidential diamond with ItWorks Global. I signed up, let's see, February 11th of 2012. So I'm almost to my fifth year. When I started this business, I was homeschooling 7 of my 8 kiddos, and my littlest one was just over 1. And so it was pretty chaotic around our house. We live on a farm really in the middle of nowhere. Like the closest Target to us is about an hour and 15 minutes away, or like a Starbucks or something like that. So we're in a very rural area, no neighbors or anything like that. You can see for miles and miles and miles out here. So the population of the town that we're actually kind of a part of is 150 people. So since we make up about half of that with our kids, it gets lonely out here sometimes, to be honest with you. But so when I started Nick, my husband was a commercial airline pilot, and so he flew 2 weeks a month. So I was at home with my kids, pretty much alone, 2 weeks a month. And like I said, it got pretty lonely. I had seen a post on Facebook, like many of us have, about these wraps. And I had kind of invited myself to the party. One of my friends from church, you know how it shows you a friend of a friend is going to a friend's party. And I said, okay, I think I'll just invite myself. So I messaged the girl on Facebook and I said, I want to come to your party. I want to see if that works. And I just had a baby a year ago and I'm older when I had her. And so it's harder for me to lose my baby weight. And she's like, okay, come on over. So I tried to wrap that night. Had amazing results in 45 minutes, had even better results when I woke up the next day. So my husband said, just like we tell, our people that we sign up, it's $59 for a box of wraps, or for just $40 more than becoming a customer, you can become a distributor. So I thought, what the heck? I want to earn some boxes of wraps at a discounted rate because I love these things. So I think I'll just pay the $40 more at $99 and go ahead and give it a whirl. And we really, we're not in financial need of this business. My husband made a hefty income as a pilot. And so I didn't start for the money. I started for the products. And, I started doing what my sponsor said, which was post on Facebook. And I posted on Facebook. I didn't even post my own results. I just posted, some corporate approved results. And I had, my first 4 customers in about 48 hours. And I thought, well, that wasn't too tough. And then I had some distributors in the next 48 hours probably. And I went Ruby in my first couple of weeks. And I was wrapping people all over the place, in their homes and having parties. And I think that's what's so important too, is to get that first party going in your first couple of weeks when you sign up. And I know people say we aren't a party company, but really we are. That's what one party can propel you to the next level of this business. And so that was, almost 5 years ago now. I went presidential diamond right at my 1-year anniversary. And so I've been a presidential ever since then, and it's been such a blessing just to see our teams grow and just change my life physically and financially. I look at pictures when I started, and I feel like, wow, I look younger now. Maybe it's just me than I did when I started this business. So that's pretty much my story in a nutshell.
I love it. I want to do that. So if I started now and I can keep getting younger looking, I should be like 16 looking by the time I hit 40. So That'll be my goal. I love that. Okay, so my name is Erica Homeyer. So a little bit on my story. I started with this business right about 3 years ago, and I actually went very similar. I was introduced to this business at a party. It was a friend of mine who was having a party, and I really kind of tell this part of it because it's important, because I was not going to go to this party. I thought that they sounded stupid. I thought that these wraps were a big joke. But my girlfriend's like, just come, I'll have wine. And I was like, I'm there. That's it. That's all you needed. That's all I needed to get there. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a baby-free night, and I'm going to go. So I went, and at the time, wrap parties, and I know we've kind of shifted a little bit on how we do things, but back then it was like you walked in the door, you paid $25, you got a wrap put on you. And there is magic in that because I got this wrap put on me, even though I rolled my eyes the whole time about it. And when I took that wrap off, I was blown away with my results. I was one of those who got results in like 1 hour, boom. And so at that point, after I, got my foot out of my mouth for just talking so badly about this crazy wrap thing, I was intrigued to want to do, want to get more. How do I get more? How much do they cost? Things like that. So for me at the time, that $25 was even a stretch to really put out. My son had just turned 4, and my triplets were 2. And at that point, yes, 3 babies, 2 years old, and I just turned 4-year-old. And at that time, we were really, really struggling. My husband owns a restaurant, and let me tell you, 2010 was not a fun year for restaurant owners, business owners of such. And 2010 was also the year that we decided to have triplets. So it was a big hit that our family took. And here we were, a couple years later, and we were still struggling. We were still trying to play catch up. So for me, I was intrigued on wanting to have the product, but I knew I couldn't commit to being a loyal customer, because for me, I knew I couldn't guarantee that I would have anything left over the next month or possibly the 3rd month. But I knew I had some in my account at that time. So I thought, I'll just sign up to be a distributor because I want more wraps, and then I'm not committing to anything. And if my friends want to try it, they can just get it from me. So I had no intentions of working this business really. But after I signed up, the girl let me know that if I got 4 loyal customers, that I would be, kind of on my way and getting a paycheck. And I thought, well, I can do that. I could get 4 loyal customers. So I did that. And when I saw the excitement of my customers, I was like, well, maybe there is a business to this. And so that's when I really kind of just put like my nose to the ground and was like, I got to make $200 a month. At the time, my mother-in-law and father-in-law were paying for my older son's preschool. And there's nothing, at least for me as a mom, that really, really affected me, because the year before that we could pay it, and that year we couldn't. But I also couldn't pull him out of that. And it was something that he needed as a child. And here as his own mother, I wasn't able to provide it for him. So that was my fire to pay that tuition every month and to tell them they didn't have to pay it anymore. So it's really big, I think, to have a really good, push and keep it within, reason right away. So I did that. So 1 year in, I actually earned the diamond and the double diamond bonus on the same day, actually at my 1 year mark of working the business. And so that was a big life changer. With that came a big family trip to Disney, and we paid off our medical debt. And that was really what got us over our hump. And then a year after that, I went triple diamonds. And that was really, again, got us over, really opened up our life. And then 2 months later went presidential. And so I have been presidential for a year this past July. And, I think what's really important part, and it's very similar to both of our stories, is that we had busy families. Like I was that one who said, there's no way she's going to be interested. I'm not even going to ask her if she wants to do this business. She's got so many kids. She's not going to have any time to do that. Well, in reality, you make the time because we have so many more needs that have to be filled. I have so many, feet to, put shoes on. I have so many bodies to clothe. So my why felt 4 times stronger than other people's because I had 4 little beings, just like you had 8. So yours was like, your why was right there. So that was a really good kind of push for me in this business. And it's kind of what brought me here. So in a nutshell, that's kind of my story. I know next we're going to kind of hop into like, how do we as moms like work this business? Because I love that that's something that we really shared when we talked earlier. So I'll kind of add a little bit on how I do it and then switch it over to you. So like you heard, we have all these children here at our house. My husband, owns this restaurant. So I really am a single mom on most nights from like 3 o'clock in the afternoon till about midnight. So bath, bedtime, homework, all of that was always, my ritual. But for me, I knew that when my kiddos went to bed, that was my work time. And I still tell my teams this a lot. Yes, can you be on your Facebook in and out of work? Can you be on Facebook in the morning before work? Yeah, can you do all those different things where you layer your time and find the time for it? You can, but that can get overwhelming. And that can make you feel frazzled at times. So I'm really big on schedules. I mean, I don't know if it comes from the multiple mom in me where I scheduled every burp, every feeding, every diaper change. I just like a schedule. So I like to kind of mark off like a time in the day that is my work time, my ItWorks time. It's not scanning on Facebook. It's not doing, any online shopping. It's just for me to work. And really for me, I did that at bedtime. So when my kids went to bed, I still, even now, with all of my kids in school and doing ItWorks full time, I still really have to be cautious of that and schedule time where I just check out of everything else and just work. I hold myself up in my office and I don't let anyone come in. I don't let anyone, they don't even know I'm here half the time. And I think that's really key. I think that sometimes new distributors think that this can be so difficult and they make it so much harder than it really is because they're trying to fit it in these little moments, but sometimes you need to say 45 minutes a day, it's mine. 45 minutes a day, I'm going to sit with my phone and I'm going to work. And I'm not going to scan and I'm not going to do anything else. Just reach out, message people, ask people to have parties, things like that. So I'm really big on the schedule part of it all. So I'm going to switch over to you and unmute myself and let you kind of share what are your tips.
Well, I'm a real scatterbrain. So I have a really hard time focusing. Like all my kids are out there right now wrestling and stuff because they're not in bed yet. They don't go to bed until 9. So it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? So I can get distracted very, very easily. So for me, what I started doing was the same thing, coming up with a schedule, even if it was just 15-minute increments of turning on a timer. And if I'm on Facebook or if I'm in my email or whatever, that I'm focusing strictly on that for that 15 minutes. And I know that timer's going and I know I have to work my business during that time. And I think it was so cool when you said 45 minutes. Is what you could, if we all worked 45 minutes a day and invested every minute of that 45 into this business, we could work some major miracles. So that's what I do because I get super distracted. I also have a paper calendar. And in the morning when I get up, I write 5 or 6 things on there that I have to get done. Regarding my business or my kids or whatever I'm doing. So I make sure that that's checked off each day, as well as I keep just a regular old Mead notebook with all my contacts in it. And I write down, I have every single day for the whole month written on a page of that. And you guys, some days my pages are blank. And I know that that's on me. I'm not working like I should be. And so I've been really way better with that lately and just writing down everything that I do for my business. Even if I make a Facebook post, if I blitz somebody at Walmart, if I, whatever it is, because that just shows that shows yourself that you're being productive. So that's one thing that I do. My kids also know that I work my business when I need to. So if I'm at one of their games and I have to get on my phone for a couple minutes, I'd rather do that than miss their game. So I think as moms, and I know for me too, I've been really hard on myself for working during certain times or whatever. But then I think of it like this: I'm home with my kids. They don't have to be in daycare. They don't have to be staying at grandma's house so I can go to another job. They're still by my side all the time. And just Nick being home, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I retired him about 7 months into the business. And so for him being home with me full time, we have a perfect, we're in unison with what we do. Like, he does all the laundry, I put it away. I do all the cooking, he cleans up afterwards. Like, we have a certain thing that we do. But right now, like you said, your husband's working at the restaurant. My husband's farming right now, so he's in the fields all hours of the day and night until our harvest of our soybeans is over. But so you just have to squeeze it in when you can. And if that's 5 minutes a day and you wrote down 4 things in your notebook, at least you're doing that. At least you're doing something, because when you stop doing that one thing, when you go one day without doing something or writing it down, that turns into 2 days, it turns into 3 days, it turns into a week that you haven't posted about your business or reached out to anybody, and it can snowball real fast. And you have to check into this business just like you clock in at any other business. And I think that's where people kind of think that maybe some people who have been in this business or who are at our levels, it just kind of magically happened. Well, no, we clock in, and like Erica says, she's got triplets and another one, and I've got 7 kids still at home. You have to stay up late. You have to give up that TV show. You have to, let your laundry pile up for a week. You have to let some things go to make this work, and it's okay. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill your kids to eat cereal for a couple days for dinner. Because that's some of the stuff that I had to do when Nick was traveling, because I went all the way to triple while he was still working in about 8 months. So you do what you got to do, and I homeschooled my kids. So I had a perfect schedule that I went off of, and I think that's so important. And so don't be afraid to ask those busy moms to join your business, because busy people get stuff done, and they have good schedules, and they know how to multitask. So that is my 2 cents on how busy people get this done.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Those are like, I'm like, I need to be writing some of these down. I'm going to go back and watch our recording so I can get all of your notes of it too. I love that, because I love the notebook idea and things like that, of just kind of keeping ourselves accountable, because sometimes I think we forget we're our own bosses, and we don't keep ourselves as accountable as we would, if we were had an employee. So I love that. Okay, so I know the next thing we kind of talked about is the holidays. And okay, so we have all these children, we have, Christmas programs and Christmas plays and Thanksgiving and, all these events that are going to come up. And, people start to say, well, this is our slow season, or, we're just so busy, no one wants this product, or no one, we start giving ourselves excuses this time of year. But when we were talking earlier, I love it. Like, this is some of my favorite time of year, because you're going to see people that we don't normally get to see. We're going to see people who we maybe just know on Facebook, but we're going to see them at Christmas parties and, things like that. And I think that's really key, that we forget that we are, I always say, we're not a party business, for a people business. And whether people business means that it's at parties, or it's on social media, or it's through text messaging, or it's through calls, or whatever, it's a people business. So you're going to see a lot more people in the holidays. So it's almost to your advantage versus to our excuses as to why this time of year can be so good. But one thing I really want to add, especially for that new distributor whose family is maybe not all 100% on board. I know, for myself, my family didn't know what I was doing. They couldn't understand it. and things like that. And I bring this little part up because I know that there's going to be people who are going to see those people, right? They're going to see the people who maybe don't like anything on their Facebook or have a negative something to say. But I was listening to one of my new books that I have in my car, and I heard it on my way home from a training tonight, and I thought, I got to share this. And it said, contentment, like people who are content are people who are considered reasonable. People who are not content with their life are considered unreasonable. So if you're content with the life that you have and you don't want anything more, everyone's going to be great because you're at the position that they know you as. But when you want something more out of life, others are going to look at you like maybe you're a little bit unreasonable. What's going on? Why are you, not okay with how you are? Because that's a reflection of them too. So know that going into these holiday parties that you may have maybe a little kickback. So, every so often, but don't let that hinder you from speaking about this product. Don't let that hinder you from your excitement for this business. Don't let that hinder you from just the joy that this business has to offer. Because it really, truly can change your life. And the last little bit that I want to add for the holiday aspect of it is, here's the thing. You may not know everything about every product. You may not understand the compensation plan. I still don't even know how I get paid. I tell people this all the time. I'm like, I don't know. It's not my strong suit. I just know I get a great check on the 15th of the month, and I keep doing my steps to success, and it just keeps staying there. So don't think you have to know everything about everything to talk about the business and the products or host a party. You just have to be excited. Be excited. Be excited when and confident. Even if you don't feel confident, tell yourself in the car, speak those affirmations. Say, I was made for this business. I'm good at this business. I'm going to change lives with this business. Say those things to you or to yourself, before you walk in to maybe a big group setting where you kind of want to maybe bring this business up to others. So I think that's really key. Just the excitement over these next couple of months can really set us all up for some really big things, not only for now, but coming into the spring too. And I'm going to pass it off to you and let you kind of share some of your holiday tips and stuff like that.
Here we go. Are you still there? Okay. I don't know what happened. I had like a blackout. But Mackenzie's saying she can't hear me very well. What about now? I don't know. Can you hear me, Erica?
I can hear you. You're like a little bit broken, but it's not like bad. It just but I can hear you. I wonder if it's just your connection is what it seems like. Like your video is good. It's just the sound is it's just a little broken.
It says my sound is good, and I'm getting like all the green bars down there, so I don't know what else to do. But anyway, what I was going to say was there's a lot of stuff going on now with the holidays. Stuff at the kids' school, little craft fairs all over our nation, at churches, and women's shopping nights, and all this, that, and the other. And I think it would be really brave for you to put yourself out there and go have a little booth at those places. And I think what people you don't have to have a big, huge setup of stuff. Just take a wrap. You don't even have to wrap anybody. You can hand out your information, and you can, share your Blitz cards with everyone. And so I think that's a great way to, get your name out there and friend those people on Facebook right away at your booth. I mean, some of the booths are even free. Some are like $20. I mean, we have some around here, little local deals. I was talking to another girl that's doing like 10 of them this month, and she said her most expensive one was $50. She's doing like some school auctions, ladies' night out shopping. Another thing I wanted to share about the holidays is the holiday packs. Order those so people can see what they look like, and order one for yourself so you can see what the new packaging looks like and show your team. And since it is the holidays coming up, do some live videos. I know it makes a lot of people really uncomfortable. I'm starting to really like doing them now, because that's like, if you get 200 views on your live video, or 1,000, that's 1,000 people you basically just blitzed for free. And Facebook is basically promoting you. free advertisement for your business. So be brave, put yourself out there, and talk to the people that you see at your family events. I know that I was really nervous to kind of tell my family or talk to them or tell them a lot about the products, but doggone it, put those fat fighters on your Thanksgiving table, right by the desserts, and let people know what you do. Don't be afraid to share it with, sometimes I think we're afraid to share it with those people that are closest to us. And so I think since we are going to be seeing family and spending time with family, now is the perfect time to tell them you're ready for them to be a customer or a distributor on your team. So those are some of the tips that I have. Just stay consistent with things, because we all have Christmas programs and all that stuff coming up for our kids, but don't stop working your business, because you have to, you just have to take it seriously. You have to not work just when you feel like it. If we did that, we'd never do a darn thing, would we? So you have to work when you don't feel like it. And I think you have to put your during the holidays, you have so much stuff going on. And sometimes you have to say no to the good to say yes to the best. And so I think that's a time where you might be able to, miss one thing to get one of these little expos or vendor fairs in. So just a few thoughts on that for me. That's all I had about the holidays.
Okay, so I know we're real wanting to keep it kind of short and sweet, so no one starts zoning off or watching their DVR shows and things like that. I know, they start being like, okay, it's 27 minutes, I've caught enough, right? I won't miss anything good. But so I guess let's close it with a couple of our really good kind of get out of the funk tips. And one of the things that it took me a while to realize, so, here I struggled with this for 2 years probably, and I don't want anyone else to ever struggle with this as long as I did. I really struggled. I have a very big Italian Catholic family. Everyone's involved in everyone's, business. I see them every Sunday. And so many of them just weren't real supportive of my business. And I let that really hinder me and really kind of hold me back for a long time. And once I kind of pushed through that and really kind of developed myself a little bit more, I realized that it wasn't really about me. And I think that's really important. I think people need to realize that when they have a negativity in their life, whether it's their spouse, whether it's, a friend or someone like that, stopping you on your goals or discouraging you, it's about them, not about you. And, I kind of go back to everyone who wants to do something different or out of the norm is always going to look like they're strange, because that's not the average person, right? So I always think okay, the person who invented the pool noodle, he probably came to his friends and he was like, so I'm going to invent this thing. It's like a noodle, and it's like foam, but you can sit on it and you float. And they're probably like, what the heck? No, that is the dumbest idea ever. You're never going to sell it. It's so stupid. And if he hadn't listened, he wouldn't be, I don't even know. Is he a millionaire? I'm sure he's a millionaire. Hopefully he's a millionaire. But, it's those kind of things. So you have to kind of go, let those things go. Let those negativity, let those negative comments, let maybe even just the displacement that someone has where they maybe just don't ask you about your business. I remember people wanting to be like, my family won't even ask me what my business is doing or how it is. And I carried it for too long. So that's one of those things. If you feel like you're in a funk, kind of take a moment back and go, well, is it because I'm projecting what I think others are thinking? What is it that I want? Who is holding me back? Because really, we're holding ourselves back. And I'm really big too on writing those goals down. Writing down, I told part of my team tonight at a training, I said, write down from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. what you want your day to look like in 1 year from now. When you are making a set amount of money, whether it's $10,000 a month, whether it's $100,000 a month, write a timeline. 8 a.m. What is your 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. look like? What does 9 to 10 a.m. look like? Write those things down and start living that life as if it's already happened. And as you do that, it just falls into place because you're not going to let any doubts step in your way. You're not going to let anything negative affect your day, because this is what your day looks like. It says it right here. It's, you have your own timeline. So just live that timeline. So that's really it. I just think that, it's the biggest thing is that we have to remember that we're in control of our funks, whether we're in them or we're getting out of them. We control when we get in, we control when we get out. And we just have to make the choice today to get out of whatever funk we're in. So that's my 2 bits on that. I'm going to switch it on over to you and let you share your tips.
I love that. We can so many times let others affect us and what we're doing and how we're feeling. Well, I had a big talk with Pam in June because I was kind of in a funk, and Pam Stouter called me and we had a little convo. So she kind of woke Jen up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just going to share with you guys some of the stuff she said to me, because I wrote down, like, I wish I would have voice recorded. I guess I was on the phone, so I couldn't have done that. But I don't know what I should have done, but I should have got out one of those old recorders and recorded it all. I think one of the things that she said to me that really stood out was you know how you had that crush in high school, and how, just like my daughter, I just showed Erica this right before we got on, got this really cool jewelry box from her boyfriend, and they're all in love, and they're 16 and 18, and oh my gosh, they can't live without texting each other, and it just, that's how we are with the business. The dating phase is so exciting and so fun. And one thing that Pam said to me is get that feeling back that we all had when you first started. Get that dream board, that very first dream board out that you made, and start looking back at that and thinking, wow, I've really done a lot of stuff. And create that crush again. And I really loved that because I could relate to that, and I think I would much rather take 10 years to become a millionaire than work at a job, never getting a raise, or, getting the same money for the rest of my life and being bored with what I'm doing. I'm so glad I'm passionate. Another thing that she said to me, Erica, was that, did y'all see Mark make it behind $1 billion yet? He keeps saying beyond $1 billion, and he hasn't made it yet. But do you ever see him stop saying that? No, he doesn't. He still says it. And he says it over and over again. And, Mark and Cindy have had their struggles too, building this business. They weren't just like millionaires overnight. It took years and years of them, and the belief could never leave them. Even if they had to stop selling wraps for a day and go flip a house or do whatever they need to do to get it there. I liked when you said too, it's all about your energy of what you put out, you're going to get back. And so I love that. And she told me that every morning to get out of my bed before I even get out and say over and over and over again what my salary is going to be, even if it's crazy, even if it's outlandish, even if it's nutty. When you wake up in the morning, you open your eyes after you talk to God or whatever your routine is, say, I'm going to make $60,000 a month or whatever it is. Just keep saying it over and over and over. And you just have to keep that in your head. And I talked to her a lot too about mom guilt, like we kind of talked about earlier. And she says, stop using your kids being busy and this, that, and the other as your excuse. Instead, all of us that are busy, all of us that have kids or husbands or boyfriends, or maybe we're not married, but we have parents we're taking care of, whatever it is, use that as your motivation to blow this business up, not as an excuse to not do it. And I love that because I want to tell my kids, I get to tell my kids I'm a quitter. Are you, Erica? I know you're not going to tell those triplets you're quitting. You're not going to quit on their dreams. I'm not going to quit on my kids' dreams. I'm in this for the long haul. And I think we do a lot of comparing too. I know I've been in that trap. I know probably everybody in the world has been in that trap, whether we're comparing, whether it's our hair or, our bodies or where we're at in this company or whatever. But, God created each of us to be great. And we need to believe that. He did not create any of us to be mediocre. And I'm not going to be. I'm going to do something great with my life. And when we start walking down that narrow path with God, or in this case, that narrow path with ItWorks, when people think we're weird and all that stuff, of course, it's narrow for a reason, because very few people stick with it and make it down that path. And so we need to keep on that same path, keep our heads down, focus, our heads down and our eyes up, because He's got us covered, whatever we do. And just keep going. Don't ever quit. And I think that, everybody on here probably has an upline that will be there no matter what. So if you're struggling, reach out to somebody and tell them you're struggling and ask for help, because that's what we're here for. So also, listen to Jump the Funk by Mike Patillo. I know we've probably said that for years on our team pages and everywhere around the globe, but I listen to that like 4 or 5 times a year. I don't know about you, Erica, but it gets me out of my funk. So another way to get out of funk is get to conference, get to an event. That will snap you right out of it. So that's pretty much all I have to say about being in a funk. Do you have anything else about it?
No, I think you really kind of brought it all home. And, it's so true. Like what we were saying, we just kind of are reiterating what we all have seen happen. We're as leaders, we get in funks. It's going to happen. I got in a funk in my first month of the business, it's continuing to happen. But just the taking of ownership, decide today, like the day that you decided that you were going to be a network distributor, you made that choice. Decide today that you're going to be out of your funk, and then be out of your funk. And even if you're not feeling it 100% yet, say, I am out of this funk. And keep telling yourself, I am great at this business. I am made for this business. I'm going to change more lives. And keep saying it until it's a reality. Because no one else can get you out of whatever feeling that you're having unless you take ownership of it and say, it's mine, I've crushed that, and I'm on to bigger and better things. So I love it. I think that I think it's a good little wake up. I think it's also nice it's not just I'm saying these words, it's also nice to hear these words too, because we all get in those funks and we all have those moments. So it doesn't just pick a certain rank and stick with them. It kind of is throughout it, but it's all about ownership. So that is really all that I have. So I'm going to let you in. Is there any last tip? I'm going to say my goodbyes. And then when you're done, I guess you can turn the broadcasting off. But this was so fun tonight. And I just adore you. And, it's just amazing what ItWorks gets to give us as far as friendships go. And I never knew when I signed on the little dotted line and bought my $99 kit how much greatness was actually going to come that didn't involve a price tag. And your friendship truly is one of those. So I just adore you. But yeah, I'm going to switch it on over and mute myself.
Thank you for doing this with me. It's been a blast. I love getting to know you and getting to know your story. I think the only thing that the way I'm going to end it off here, you guys, is by saying I would rather be in a funk and owning my time, who I spend it with, what I do every single day, than be in a funk working somewhere else. Because I have big goals and big dreams, and I hope you guys do too, and you're worth it. And thank you, Erica, for being on. Thank you, everybody who tuned in, all 3 of you. Just kidding. We had a blast, and please reach out to us, either one of us. We would love to help you if you have questions or whatever. So have a blessed holiday, and we'll see you next week with our next awesome couple. See you later.